So I guess what some people wonder when they buy a piece of hardware reverb is like, well, when is this thing going to be outdated?
Perfect question. I get that, so often. It's, well, people call, send me a private email or something, and just asking, about to drop a lot of coin on this M7. You got to be honest with me. Are you about to update this? It's a great question because for all the obvious economic reasons, but as far as looking at what Bricasti really stands for, 5 years ago, when Brian and I first sat down to talk about what we wanted in the company, we developed a plan. I said, well, we want a product, because neither of us like this throwaway world, and of course the caveat here is that it takes a lot to trust a manufacturer and what he's saying to you. But so, with that said, I'll go on, assuming that you trust me. But we really did sit down and talk about what our core values were, and neither of us like ever throwing away, a cell phone or some other device that's perfectly good, but the battery is bad. Or something. All of these things, or where companies are constantly churning out new products and so forth. And we said we wanted to build one product that would last for 20 years, and there are a lot of aspects of the product that reflect that. And part of that plan was to build a platform that had the capacity to allow us to grow new software, particularly on, so that what you see is we've really built. I'll mention a couple of variations here and some the remote as an adjunct to it, but really we've built all the reverb hardware that Bricasti will ever build at this point. And I tell it, so people call up and say, are you going to build a new model, or are you going to do a board that goes into a computer or something? And the answer to that is no. We don't. We really want to. I always say, we try to keep all the wood behind one arrow, and that, the M7 is our arrow. And so as we were talking about it 5 years ago, we said, well, we'll have V1, which is going to try to solve the real spaces sorts of things. And from previous discussions that we've had, or if people have used or heard about the M7, the realistic spaces is kind of what it's known for. But obviously, we wanted to be able to incorporate more than just that. So now we, if we want to call them surreal spaces, or things that are not necessarily valid real-world spaces, but more effect sorts of things. And that's what we have incorporated into V2. So you get in V2 this sense of lushness, of reverbs, like the 224 or 480. You get this lushness, but you don't you don't get the blurring. So you really get the clarity of the Bricasti, but with this lushness. And so I think there's maybe a misunderstanding in some sense, because whenever you mention, really great benchmarks in reverb history, like a 224 or 480, saying, well, are you trying to do those sounds? And the answer is yes and no. In the one sense, you want to incorporate the lushness and the beauty, because we all love, those sounds if they're done right. And but really, what the Bricasti is trying to do is to sort of, if you look at the genealogy of reverbs and the development of it, is that we wanted to create a new branch, take the 224 and the 480 to a different place than that it might have otherwise ever gotten to, again, combining this lushness and clarity in sound, and also, I think, doing a lot of very subtle things to, maybe open some ears. It's not out there, in a lot of studios yet.